Hey guys, welcome to the Skull Show. It's your host Paxton. Today we will be talking about the top 5 worst losses of this season. Um, so the Vikings obviously have had 9 losses so far. Hopefully we lose to the Lions tomorrow because we want the draft pick and it is a meaningless game to win. So might as well just lose. But um, I'll be going over the top 5 worst losses this season in my opinion. So I'll just give you guys a quick refresher on all the losses that we had. Week 1, Tampa. Week 2, Philly. Week 3, Los Angeles. Week 5, Kansas City. Week 11, Denver. Week 12, Chicago. Week 15, Cincy. Week 16, Detroit. Week 17, Green Bay. And hopefully tomorrow, Week 18. But out of the 9 losses, I chose my 5 that I think were the worst. This can be based on just embarrassment, how close we were to winning, or the talent level of the other team, or all put together. But try I'll go from 5 to 1. So in 5th place for the worst loss of the year would be Detroit in Week 16. And the reason I think that this is the 5th worst is because there were some positives. Jefferson Mullins obviously dominated, but mostly just how close we were to winning, and obviously that didn't end up happening. This was a huge game, and if they had won it and beat Green Bay the week after, they would be playing Detroit for the North this week, which would be a very entertaining game to watch. But they're not going to be because obviously we didn't get the win against either of them, but started off with Detroit, and then, we could have had the North, basically, and we'd be in the playoffs even with a loss against Green Bay. So that's probably the 5th worst, and the only reason it's not higher is because there were some good things. And the 4th worst, this is going to go to Week 3 against the Los Angeles Chargers. And the reason why this goes here is because, well, first of all, the Chargers are just terrible, and that doesn't help. But this came down to one play for T.J. Hawkinson, dropped it in the end zone and was intercepted. And then the Chargers got to, a 2-2 start? Yeah, so not at all a good loss for Minnesota. This, again, any of these losses, if we would have won, we would be in the playoffs right now. Hawkinson literally had to catch it, and we'd be in the playoffs, although I do like T.J. Hawkinson a lot. Keep in mind, this Chargers team is the same one losing 63-21 now. But I think, okay, we'll get to the 3rd worst loss of the year, and this one is going to go to Week 1 home opener at the Bank, losing to Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who also are not horrible this year, but not very good. Especially Week 1, they weren't very good. Their defense was solid, but their team wasn't that good. Vikings turned over the ball, I think, 4 times in this game, which you don't really want to do in any game, but especially against conference opponent. Again, for the 3rd time I said it, and I'll say it 2 more times. Vikings win this game, they'd be in the playoffs right now. And they lost, and they did it in a heartbreaking fashion with turnovers. So in this game, I was looking at the stats for the Chargers game. Kirk Cousins threw 50 passing attempts, and that is insane. But, I mean, it's just a ripple effect. Like, maybe Kirk doesn't even get hurt if they win one of these games, just because that's how the butterfly effect works. But yeah, the pick at right before the halftime, and then I forget what the last drive looked like. I'll try to find it. But I know we had a chance to come back and win. Madison was awful in this game after a solid first drive, and I remember I texted my friends in the group chat after Madison's first carry on that first drive that he was better than Dalvin Cook was last year, or he would be better than Dalvin Cook will be. And yeah, he did not. So the last drive, how did it end? With a punt. Don't know if how much I like punting there. And Tampa's last drive. Yeah, I don't get why we punted it. Minnesota only had one timeout. So punting it was not a very good coaching decision. Looking back on it, actually it might have been, but I don't know because obviously I don't watch the game right now. But that was not a good loss. Buccaneers are solid this year, like I said, but they weren't very good in this game. But the Vikings, unfortunately, were worse. Um, and yeah, momentum also would have probably been a factor. Maybe you go into Thursday Night Football and beat the Eagles. Maybe you beat the Chargers. It's just, like I said, all the ripple effect. And yeah, that's third. So second worst loss of the year goes to week 11. I'm not looking at it right now, but I believe it was week 11 versus the Chicago Bears. And I'll say it for the fourth time now. If we would have won this game, we'd be in the playoffs. So this game, I do remember it a lot more recently, obviously because it was a few months later. But lose 12-10. Defense has second best game of the year, obviously, other than the Raiders game, and they let up no touchdowns. And Josh Dobbs managed to throw 4 interceptions, 4, and he's not even the only Viking to do that this year. But like they're the Bears, and if you would have told anybody, and I mean anybody that's a Vikings fan for this game, the Vikings are gonna give up 0 touchdown to the Bears in this game. Any single person would have been like, "Oh, we're gonna kill them 30 to what? Yeah, 30 to like 10. Maybe how much they scored 12, 30, 30 to 12 maybe, and maybe they would even give them less field goals. Like you tell anybody that the Bears aren't going to score a touchdown at US Bank Stadium, and you write that down as a win. And the Vikings somehow managed to lose that game, and yeah, not happy with that one. Dobbs, like I said, throwing 4 picks, like 2 of them were his fault, but then he had one play that was a terrible throw that wasn't picked, so hard to judge that too much. But yeah, Dobbs played awful. Receiving was terrible. Addison had one bounce off of his hands and get picked, which also happened in the Packers game last week. But this was definitely not a good loss. And Brian Flores is going to get paid because of this. And when your second leading receiver is Brandon Powell, no disrespect to Brandon, but that's not very good. Addison had 6 catches for 39 yards, and Osborne had 3 catches for 34 yards. Addison had 10 targets in that game, so they're trying to get him the ball. I do remember his deep shot that he ended up catching, but it was real incomplete, and then the Vikings didn't challenge it. Or maybe they did and it didn't get called, but I don't know. What else do I remember about this game? Fields was running all over the Vikings, 12 carries for 59 yards. Didn't throw very well, but that's just kind of how Justin Fields works. He's not a great quarterback in general. So, yeah, that Bears game was not good. And then the worst loss of the year, and to me, this is kind of by a lot, was the Packers game last week, week 17. 33-10 on your home turf against your division rival with a chance to make the playoffs. I mean, Kirk Chains with his kid out there doing the Yallerhorn, and you still lose. It's awful, especially the way that they played. But pull up the stats for this game. Hall, all I know is he did terrible. You feel bad because things like Johnny Munt not catching the ball and it being a pick, but then you don't feel as bad when you realize that Justin Jefferson was 30 yards open downfield. So, and a lot of stuff like that. Mullins, after playing the second half, was the leading passer. 13 for 22, 113 yards and a touchdown. Ty Chandler had 10 carries for 40 yards, so not bad. Jefferson also had a solid game. And I don't even know who Bo Melton is, but he somehow had 6 catches for 105 yards and a touchdown. Aaron Jones ran up and down the field. And, yeah, not a good game at all. Not one I want to talk about too much any further. But I maybe will do the top 5 wins of the season. I'll do a lot of drafts type stuff coming up here. But this is just a video to recap the season. I'm not going to talk about the Lions game. Me and Jason's predictions will be posted on the Instagram page. Check that out. Link in the bio. And yeah, predictions will be in the Instagram page. It's a tight race. I think I am down by 2, so I gained 2 last week, and if I gain 2 again, then we'll be tied, and hopefully I can gain 3. Uh, for tonight's game, we both picked the Steelers, which we don't usually post the games before Sunday, but um, we both picked the Steelers, and we were right. And this is recorded at 7:03 right now, and I picked the Texans, he picked the Colts, so that will gain me 1. And yeah, that's the prediction standpoint. Thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know what you think the worst loss of the year is. I bet most of you will agree, or maybe say that it was the Bears game. I think it's between those two. Yeah, no preview for the Lions game because you guys know how I feel. We're cheering for the Lions. I mean, I really do hate to say it, but we're cheering for the Lions. But if the Vikings somehow do sneak into the playoffs, I will 100% make a video about that tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching, and see ya.